Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. Alright everyone, welcome to the week that starts off the Mafia Romance Readathon. If you are participating, you will know that it starts on May 1st. If you are not participating, there is still time to do so. I have not shared this yet, but there was actually a Mafia romance author who reached out to me, and so there will be a giveaway happening, which is exciting. It will be US only, sadly, because international shipping can be a bit of a mess, but keep a lookout. I will post it both on my YouTube community post as well as on my Instagram, and you'll be able to enter in both places, so you'll have two chances to get in for that, or double your chances for the same one anyway, but it's gonna be exciting. But otherwise, if you're not participating but you just want some Mafia romance recs, this is also the place for you. First, I did want to show off, this is like an OG Mafia Romance Readathon merch. It's back when I still tried to like make merch for readathons, but don't really care to do it now. But yeah, here it is. It's super cool, and it is working with the filter that I have on and everything, mostly because it's made my purple hair just kind of like look like a dark blob. But yeah, purple and red, they're not exactly the best of friends. And then I have pink in here too, so I'm just a wash of contradictions, but it's fine. So anyway, for this rec video today, I put up a poll both on my community tab and on my Instagram, and times I've done this before, sometimes there are different answers for what gets picked, but this time it was pretty overwhelming that I had over 100 votes for rival families, which is great. I actually realized I hadn't made a rec video like this. Now, it crosses over with quite a few other tropes, of course. There's enemies to lovers, which is very obviously common mafia situation. There's also like arranged marriage, because most of these are going to be that because of said situation that we're in. So yeah, there's not really a surprise that this one crosses over with those. But this is for mafia romances that involve rival families. Again, most of them will be because of an arranged marriage somehow, and that's how these two from rival families get put together, usually to end a war or something like that. But I'm excited to go through these because I have both some that absolutely won't surprise you. I tried not to pick only the common ones because obviously there are a few authors that's all that they write basically, but you probably already know about them. So I wanted to do a good mix of like some of the classic rival families as well as some maybe you haven't thought of, so that again, if you are doing the Mafia Romance Readathon, you will maybe get an author that is new to you, or you're able to find one that you hadn't have thought of before. And because the readathon will be coming this week, I will also tell you if I know which other prompts it hits, because maybe there'll be a bingo-worthy read within this one. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so starting off here, we have one of my favorite series, and this one has some great twists and turns to it. I love it so much. We have Brutal Vows by J.T. Geisinger. This is book 4 in the Queens and Monsters series, and book 1 in this series is actually one that is picked by one of the hosts. So, you know, if you were to binge this whole series within the readathon, it definitely would hit everything. But for those of you who aren't interested, I do think you should probably start at the beginning of the series before getting to this one, just because it makes this one more satisfying. Something that this book does is one of the things that I love about when an author creates a character that everyone just loves so much, and the people basically demand that they get a happily ever after. And that is the case in this one, because we have Spider, who he was in love with the heroine of a previous book. Again, this is why it's good to read this series in order, particularly because you'll get to see that. But we've seen Spider since book 2. In book 3, he's in love with someone. He is not the winner of that situation. It isn't even really a love triangle because she doesn't care for him back, but he was her like bodyguard, let's say, and he was falling for her, and it didn't work out. And so he basically volunteers for an arranged marriage in this book because his boss is the one that they're trying to arrange it with, and his boss is already married, okay? So his boss is actually Declan. Yes, Daddy Declan, one of my favorite mafia heroes of all time. Love him. And he obviously can't be the one to do this arranged marriage because he's already got Sloane. And so Spider, he lets himself do it. So in this one we have, it says 2 enemy empires joined in marriage. So yeah. But then we have Reina, who she's an Italian mafia princess who is actually she's not the shining star of it anymore. She's actually a widow. She's actually considered a black widow because her abusive older husband died in suspicious circumstances. So there's a couple reasons I love that, because she's actually like an older-ish heroine. We're not saying she's over the hill by any means. She's in her mid-30s, let's say, which is nice to read about. But it's actually her young niece, Lily, who Spider is supposed to marry, right? Because she's in the fresh blush of youth. She's supposed to be pure and untainted. And Reina is very upset when she finds out that Lily is going to be the one joined with Spider. Not only because, you know, it's with a rival family and she doesn't want that to happen to her niece, but also because that is what happened to her. She was used as a sacrificial marriage, right? Like, again, a lot of ladies in the mafia would be. And she doesn't want that for Lily. And her brother had actually promised her that that wouldn't happen to Lily and that she would have a say in who her niece married. Now, that was a bit presumptuous of her to assume that her brother would like let her have a say. I know. But when she meets Spider, she, you know, just thinks he's super cocky and he's this annoying Irish gangster, and their family is Italian. But there's also this crazy chemistry between the two of them, and they know that they can't be with each other and that he's here to court her niece, but they just can't stop looking at each other. And when it becomes clear that her niece, not only does she like not want to do this marriage, but she is actually in love with someone else, Reina is going to have to make a choice about how to ensure that there is still peace. So I said enough about this one, but this one, of course, hits a lot of fun tropes in here. I love these two so much. And I just think that, yeah, she does such a good job. This is so funny. She gave her a nickname in this one. That is so weird. This is, of course, the, re-release of this book, because my original copies I have in a very tight shelf, so I happen to have this one sitting around. But I actually don't mind these re-releases, by the way. I think they're kind of cool. I like the depth of the flowers on here and everything, so I don't think this is a bad recover, but that surprised me. Like, it's saying Ray instead of Reina on it. I'll have to look into that. I haven't even opened it, so that goes to show you. Okay, let me grab my computer for this next one because I didn't remember their names when I was pulling it up. But this was one I really enjoyed, actually. I had an ALC of this book, and it is called Craving Chaos by Jill Ramsauer. So yes, I had an ALC of that one. And I will say that I had read the first book in this series ages ago. I actually got it from Neck Alley, and like, it was okay. Like, it was cool. But then this one came up for a ALC, let's see, I had it through an ALC from Valentine PR for this one, and it was Kelsey Navarro Foster, sorry, she has a new name, and Aiden Snow, and I was very excited about that. So I did listen to this one, but this is a really interesting one because it's not an arranged marriage. This one, we have Renzo and Shay, and they're, of course, as the title of this video suggests, from rival families, and they end up showing up at this job at, like, I think it's at the docks or whatever, and they're being betrayed by another criminal group, and it leads to the both of them getting kidnapped, and they get kidnapped in a plane, and they're actually able to like escape, but it crashes the plane when they do. So this couple ends up stranded in the Canadian wilderness in this little hunter's cabin until they're able to get help. And so this mixed two of like my favorite subgenres of romance, right? I love survival romances. Y'all know I talk about it all the time. And so mixing that with like a mafia scenario was really cool. I also liked, for this one, Shay is actually, bisexual, so technically this would also fit for LGBTQAI+, and she is dating a woman in the beginning of this, and I won't say more about said woman because there's some interesting things about that character, so this one would actually work for that. But yeah, then these two are trapped in the wilderness together, and yeah, like, it's really cool. Like, a line from her is, "Arrogant men like Renzo are the reason I usually date women." I love a line like that. Like, that's great. So anyway, this one was a really fun time. It will, of course, hit a bunch of the prompts. I think this one is Irish and Italian. I think they're Irish and Italian, or are they? Yeah, this is an Irish and Italian story too. So you'd hit those prompts. And she isn't, I don't think she is a female boss. Let me double check what it says here. She may be a female capo though, because I know she does work for her family. So I don't quite remember that. I know it wouldn't be a female boss, but she's definitely not like a normal grunt in the family. We'll say that about her, right? We'll say that. Okay, then I, of course, would be absolutely remiss if I didn't talk about Aniva Altai, and we're going to go with Broken Whispers for this one, though not all of the books in this series would work as rival families, but a lot of them will, because a lot of this series are arranged marriages. But this is a great one. It's not very long. This one will also hit a disability or neurodivergence. This will hit an arranged marriage. It will hit rival families. It will hit Bratva and Italian. Is he? Yeah. This will hit Russian and Italian. This will hit a single parent. Like, this will hit so many. Now, I know a lot of you have read it though. That's why, particularly people doing the readathon, like, they'll know about this one. But this one is great. This is often the book I suggest people start with when they read Niva. There is one book before this one called Painted Scars, and it's not awful. That one is also like a marriage of convenience and stuff, but in my opinion, it's just not like as well-rounded and not as romantic to me as this one is. So, brief thing, you know, this is the Italian and the Russian mafia. Our heroine is actually a ballerina, but it's time for her career to end, and she gets asked to do, well, told that she's going to marry Mikhail. So we have Bianca and Mikhail. Now, she basically does it because they threaten, if you don't, we're going to make your sister do it instead. So, you know, woman up and do it. And so she agrees, and she gets married off to this scary Russian gangster. But she quickly finds out he's not as scary as he appears. He's actually a dad. He has a adopted little girl, but he is a dad. And he is also, she is also mute. I will say that. She doesn't speak. She uses sign language, and he happens to know sign language, though he doesn't share that right away with her. He's being a bit sneaky. He's a very, like, damaged hero, and there are a lot of, like, pain between that and everything. But this is a pretty quick book, yet it still manages to, like, bring up so many feels for me. And I've heard the audios for these ones are fantastic. So yeah, this is only a little over 200 pages, so it's a quick read. It hits a lot of prompts, and yeah, it's a rival family arranged marriage too. So we love all of it. We love it. Okay, then we have, let me pull it up here, a Mila Kane, of course. And this one I want to throw back a little ways to one of her older ones. And I mean, it's not super old. It's from 2 years ago. I wish it was a little older, then it would work for more prompts. But this one is kind of a, I don't know, a little bit of a Romeo and Juliet thing. I mean, I wouldn't consider it enough of a Romeo and Juliet to, like, work for, like, the retelling prompt, but it has those vibes to it. But this one is, we have a mafia princess again, and she happens to come across a Bratva bad boy who's trespassed on her dad's land, or her dad's compound. And so his name is Nikolai, and he really, like, catches her attention, and so she can't help but, like, be drawn to him. And it would be very bad if she fell for him, and she would get in a lot of trouble, so she tries not to have any feelings for him. But yeah, this one is pushed as a when the sheltered mafia princess meets a Bratva devil on the run. Neither of them will ever be the same. And this time, the villain gets the girl. And so, yeah, this one is the first in a duet. So there is a cliffhanger, and it finishes up in Runaway Queen. So if you read, though, both halves, I won't say how, but book 2 does hit some different prompts as well that I don't want to spoil for you. But yeah, Malevolent King, we have the Italian and the Bratva coming together for this one. Rival families, secret relationship, star-crossed lovers. It's got all of those vibes. So very fun one there. Okay, then I should have picked a different one, but I didn't want to because I picked Twisted Pride. I don't care. I recommend this all the time and shall continue to do so. You can, though, also do Twisted Emotions. I mean, you can start back at the beginning, like all the way with, well, I wouldn't say Bound by Honor was, because that is just her being pushed into the marriage. Their families aren't rivals. I think you'd have to go until Bound by Vengeance, I think, has rival families. But Twisted Emotions and Twisted Pride for sure have rival families that do that. But this one involves kidnapping, so we have captor-captive. We have also, this one has a second chance included in it as well. This one has a psychopathic hero. He's obsessive. It's fantastic. He is a capo. This is Italian. They're both Italian, so they're just different parts of it. So this one doesn't fit too, but there are rival families within like the Italian side of the mafia and everything. And so, yeah, this one starts off with Ramo kidnapping Serafina and bringing her back to Las Vegas, where he plans to use her to get a submission out of her family. Only Serafina ends up being a much tougher girl and having a steel of spine that he's not expecting, though he is extremely attracted to that part of her, which is really cool. And yeah, these two just, they go at each other for sure. They definitely do. So yeah, I had to throw that in there. I will always recommend Twisted Emotions and Twisted Pride. And if you haven't read them, Twisted Emotions, that one is a part of one of the host recs, so you would get a lot of points if you read that one. In last year, I think Twisted Pride was my choice, but I try not to pick the same one each year just so that if people read it the year before because of my recommendation, they can pick a different one, you know? Okay, then we have another arranged marriage, one that I just absolutely love to share, and that is Hista by Emilia Rossi, and this one is Italian and the Bratva as well. This one is, let's see, the couple is Matteo and Sofia, and this one will also hit, the heroine has a disability. It is, as I said, Bratva and Italian. It is rival families, which is what we're here for, of course. And yeah, this hero is an absolute simp in this one. It's so good. But when Matteo marries Sofia, number one, he wasn't told that she's in a wheelchair. And though, like, he doesn't, like, mind that, he is also kind of wondering, like, why her father would lie, because he wasn't able to prepare his home for his wife. That is important to him. Though he does plan to marry her and then put her to the side, like, not put her to the side as in, like, do whatever he wants, but put her to the side as in he's just going to placate her, keep her happy, give her what she wants, but she's not going to affect his life. That's truly what he believes. Poor ignorant fool. Let's just say that. Poor ignorant fool. But he ends up absolutely falling for this sweet, beautiful woman who's now his wife, who bakes and cooks and wins over all of his men, and he just can't help but absolutely fall head over heels in love for her as well. This is one of the #1 simp heroes that I've read in recent years. Like, absolutely just head over heels for her. It's beautiful to see. Okay, then I wanted to have another throwback one here. I have a few of those mixed in. I did have to look up I've forgotten what some of the original titles were for some of these, but I wanted to share Dark Succession by Katie Robert. These got recovered by Forever a few years ago. This was originally called The Marriage Contract. And this one I like because this one has rival families, but Teague and Callie aren't really enemies themselves, which I think is really cool. Like, their families, I believe with this one, I think it's Irish and Italian in this one, I think. it's been a while. I mean, I know it's Irish because it's the O'Malleys. They could both be Irish, actually, but I think it's Irish and Italian. I can't recall. And they get told they're going to marry. And what's cool is they kind of just start off on a good foot with each other. Like, they really do. They are like, well, let's be a team. Like, we're bringing our two families together. Let's be on the same side. You know, like, our families may have been enemies, but we don't have to be. And so they really kind of fall for each other in this almost naive kind of way, because there are a lot of machinations going on beyond their control and people trying to use them for their ends. Like, that's the whole point that there's an arranged marriage. But I just really like how they kind of make this their own, even though it is something they're pushed into. They don't allow it to control their reactions to each other. You know, like, in a lot of these rival families, they just choose to hate the person because that their families are rivals. And Teague and Callie, they really don't do that. And I like that. So that's Ruthless Redemption. Now, there's another one in that series that's actually my favorite, and I wanted to share that one. Oops, I actually said that wrong. I was showing you the thing. Dark Succession was the marriage contract. The other one I want to show you is now called Ruthless Redemption, but it was The Bastard's Bargain before. Okay, sorry. I had them both pulled up and I was saying the wrong thing. So that's book 1 in the series, Dark Succession. And then Ruthless Redemption was my favorite one in the series because it was, when I was reading my way through these ones, you just had that feeling in your gut where you're like, this is going to be good. You know, like, you just knew. You're like, this is going to be really good. And so this one was a mafia marriage of convenience between Kira O'Malley and Dmitry Romanoff. So this one is Irish and Bratva. And so she agrees to be a part of this bargain. But he also has kind of made it of like, you're really going to want me. And she's out to like prove that he can't keep control the way that he thinks he will. Like, there's just a really good back and forth between them. And he's definitely been toying with her for a long time. But yeah, he's quite the man, we'll just say, about Dmitry there. Okay, then I just briefly want to share Hidden Empire by K.L. Mann, specifically because the next book in her Moretti Empire will be coming out during the readathon. I didn't end up getting an arc, which, again, A-okay that I did not, but I was going to try to read Tragic Empire for the readathon, but since I didn't get an arc for it, I'll probably read it afterwards. But Hidden Empire is available, and so if you happen to be excited for the next one, you know, that is going to be coming out on the 8th, which is during the readathon. The 8th or the 9th, actually. I can't remember which one now, but yeah. But Hidden Empire is interesting because Jade Donovan doesn't know that she's a part of a mafia family until the beginning of this book. She's been raised by her mother, didn't know that she was the illegitimate child of a Italian mafia guy. And so she finds out she has a dad, and she really starts to fall for them. And he's a part of the Outfit, which you'll have heard of if you've read Cora Riley, which is an old and well-established crime family. And so she gets brought into it. And it's really beautiful. Honestly, the beginning of this starts out so tragic. And she discovers this whole family. And she has all these older brothers. She was actually a part of not like an affair that her father had while he was with the mother. Like, the mother had died. And so he had slept with her mother in kind of like his grief or whatever. So it was someone he didn't really care about. And she never like even told him that he had a kid. So he had no idea. So he finds out, and her family, she has 9 brothers, and they love her. Like, I just love this. It's like found family, but they're like real family too. So she gets brought in with him, and so now she is a mafia princess, and they send her to Empire Academy, which is an offshore mafia college for children of crime families. And there she meets Dmitry Morozov, who technically, like, the Bratva and them are like kind of rivals, right? But this is one, again, where like there is a rival between these families, but these two have a really sweet romance. It's almost even insta-love in some aspects, which I know not everyone will like. But I kind of do, just because where Jade has to start her life, and you'll see that she deserves to have it kind of be easier. I'll say that. Like, after the life she's grown up in and the mother that she had, she deserves to have it come easy. So, but technically they do have rival families. So just know that with them. So there was Rise of a King by Bella Matthews. Yes, I have read some books by Bella Matthews way back when. And so this one, it's been a long time though. So this one is Sam Beneventi. And there is, okay, let's see what it says here. Forever doesn't exist when you're on the run. Amelia can't get attached, not to the town or the people. And definitely not to the tall, dark, handsome mafia prince who sweet talks his way past her carefully built walls. But why put yourself through that, knowing it'll all be ripped away when you leave? And she will have to leave. This life isn't hers to keep. Snam calls her Snow, like she's a fairy tale princess. But her life is far from a fairy tale. Even a prince can't change that. So he's been raised to one day take control of the family, putting it above all else. Strength and power are all that matters. Weakness isn't an option. When the lost princess stumbles into the mafia princess city, all bets are off and Amelia is all he sees. To keep her safe, it's time for Sam to take control, to take the throne, to wear the crown. It's time for the rise of the king. So if I remember correctly, based on my review here, she is a baker and she has a friendship with Sam in the beginning. And so he's this mafia prince. And the thing is there's some ghost in her past that he is connected to in ways she doesn't know, which obviously will lead to the rival family aspect. She might seem like an outsider to the mafia, but there's more going on than we know. Let's just say that. So this was actually the start of the Ruthless King series. Let me pull this up here real quick, which I read books 1 and 3 of. Somehow I didn't read Broken King. That's funny. But I did read books 1 and 3 in that series, which is crazy. I should go back and visit it. But I like the Bella Matthews that I've read. She was just an author that I never did kind of like read all of them, you know? That happens sometimes. Okay, now the final one I have to share is Filthy Rich by Serena Ackroyd. This is a part of the 5 Points Mafia series, and this one is book 2, but you can kind of read these first few separately. Now, this does become a series that becomes very entangled and very complicated. It is actually a series I have never fully finished because it just got spun out of control. However, the first 5 to 6 books of this series are some of my favorite Mafia. Like, this is a book that shows up consistently on my favorite list. Filthy is book 1, then there's Filthy Rich, and you can go through the family, and I just love them. Like I do. I really do. So, yeah, there's Filthy, Filthy Rich, Filthy Dark, Filthy Sex, Filthy Hot, and Filthy Secret that are really strong ones. But the thing that Serena Ackroyd does is she has a crossover world where there is a MC series and then she throws in like Russian Mafia, and it just got very confusing for me. Okay, but enough of the bad stuff. This book, you can read this as a standalone, and this is a Bratva meets an Irish Mafia family. And Owen is how you say his name. So we have Owen O'Donnelly, and he gets tapped to marry, I think Ilsa, let me look up her name, sorry, Anessa, sorry. He gets tapped to marry Anessa, and he really doesn't want to do it, but it's duty, and he's like, fine, I'll marry this girl, and whatever. And he's really not that interested. He's like, fine, I'll fuck her, I'll have a baby with her, that's what we're supposed to do, whatever. But then, on his wedding day, literally waiting at the front of the church for her, his bride steps up, and through her veil, and through the heavy makeup they have put on her, he could tell that she's not only like favoring a rib, but that she has bruises. And when he looks between her and her father and the way that she is on her father's arm, yet cowering, he gets pissed, okay? He gets pissed because he says this. He says, the bruises on my bride's face, they stir the monster in me. Someone touched my property. I'm Irish mob. We kill to protect our women. We reap nightmares on those who harm them, and I'm the biggest nightmare of them all. So he was actually a part of the military for a while, and he's a sniper. And so he has like both the protectiveness of like a soldier and a killer with the mafia killer and the family protectiveness. And he's like, I don't even want in on this. But not only am I forced in on this, but now you're beating up on the woman that I'm supposed to marry and cherish? Excuse me? Like, I know I'm being a bit dramatic, but this book is, as I said, in my top mafia that I recommend, because it does work as a standalone if you want it to. If you want to go full bore in and read the whole like complicated backlist of Serena Ackroyd, you do it. There are some great books in there, okay? I just was like burned out by the end is the thing. That's what happened with it. I got a bit burned out by the end. But it's still amazing, okay? This one stands and it works. And so does Filthy. Filthy is great. So Filthy, Filthy Rich, Filthy Dark, Filthy Sex, and Filthy Hot. All great. But this one, I love it. There are some really cute scenes in here of like, then there's a scene, I won't say all of them, but after he beats the shit out of her dad, because after they get married, he's like, who did this to you? Like, you will tell me. Now you're mine. So he has the domineering aspect of like, you're my property. But for him, it's like, you're my property as in like, I will bleed for you and I will make others bleed for you. So tell me who hurt you, right? And Inessa, who's been very, of course, literally beaten down and is forced into this, she's terrified. She's like, am I going to go from one abuser to another? And to have her new husband be like, no, you tell me? And it's done, right? So he gives her father a warning. He gives her father a warning on their wedding day. And he's like, she's mine now. You traded her away. Whatever you did, she's mine now. She's the Irish now. So if you fuck with our girl, you're done. Okay, sorry. I'm getting a bit into it. But I love it, okay? I love Owen and I love Inessa. Oh, I want to reread this. Maybe I'll listen to it. I have the audiobook for this one saved. Maybe I'll listen to it. And I just love that type of stuff. I love that type of stuff. So this is a great one. This one's also not too long. Like, it looks kind of long, but it's only right around 300 pages. It's a pretty quick read. So yeah, that one will cover Irish and Bratva. It will have the arranged marriage aspect, the rival families aspect. It will have, I think those are the main ones that one hits, but so good. So anyway, there you go. Those are some rival families, both if you care about the Mafia Readathon and if you don't. I would love if you would jump on it. It'll be so much fun. As I said, we now will have a giveaway or two probably thrown in, so that'll be fun. I will link, of course, the announcement video, and I'll link all of the hosts so you can hop on, because again, even if you don't want to participate in the Mafia Readathon, there will be a ton of recommendations if you love Mafia. So definitely check that out. But anyway, I will talk to you guys soon, and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.